style. Standing tall, well, that's what we call home on the range. Come a Saturday night, well, you're all invited. It's a cowboy Saturday night.
We're gonna sing,
We're gonna sing,
we're gonna dance,
we're gonna dance. Do-si-do until the morning light.
we're gonna sing,
We're gonna sing,
we're gonna dance,
we're gonna dance.
it's a cowboy Saturday night.
On a Saturday night, got a lot of time and wash this dust from my boots and saddle. Put my spurs on in a shirt of white. It's a cowboy Saturday night. We're gonna sing, we're gonna dance. Do-si-do until the morning light. We're gonna sing, we're gonna dance.
It's a
Cowboy Saturday night. We're gonna sing, we're gonna dance. Do-si-do until the morning light. We're gonna sing, we're gonna dance.
It's a
Cowboy Saturday night.
That's the Bost family. And the Bost family has been singing here for how long now?
Oh, it's got to be 8 or 9 years.
8 or 9 years. A lot of their kids have kind of grown up here with our kids on the farm. And we have kind of a little bit of a courage reunion here today because we have the Bost family who appeared in one of our episodes, and Liberty sang a beautiful version of I Know That My Redeemer Lived. And we also have Jim and Laura Tavaré. And Jim played really mean guy in Courage, Bill Krepp's, one of our favorite characters. In fact, we think we're going to change it to the Bill Krepp show because it's actually probably the one of the most engaging characters we got on the show. We're honored to have Jim and Laura with us now. Jim, you've been working on like a feature film.
Yeah, I'm working on a feature film right now, a horror film actually, which I'm not allowed to say the name of, but it's a franchise horror film. I've got a lead role in that. We're filming out in Topanga Canyon in California for the next 10 days.
And you've been filming for 2 weeks, all right?
I've already done a week and there's another 10 days left, yes.
So
it's-
what kind of a character do you play?
Well, I play an American. It's the first American role I've had, but
the horror
I get
thing,
criticized for my accent. So, but this guy doesn't hardly speak because he's had such a terrible life. He can't speak until right at the end. So he stammers all the way through it, and they were happy with the accent. So I got the job.
No, have you played many roles with an American accent?
No, almost none. I always play the English guy, and it's but this has worked out pretty well. And strange enough, the 5 main characters are all Americans, but 4 of the actors are non-Americans. So
Well,
we've got a South African in there, and myself, and a Canadian.
well, I mean, Jim, if you haven't seen him in our show, he plays a really scary guy. I mean, a really scary guy. But in real life, he's a funny. I mean, you're actually most of your career is comedy, right?
Yeah, I've been comedy. The first front end has been comedy, and the act 3, you could say, is I'm coming back to drama again. I actually prefer drama because if you say something funny and it doesn't get a laugh, there's nothing more embarrassing. So if you just say, if you're serious, then you've got nothing to fail. You can't fail because maybe the comedy will come out of being serious. That's good, but you don't. I hate a script that isn't funny because you can't. There's no way you can sell that unless the script really is funny.
Well, you get no immediate feedback, right? I mean, you don't really know it.
Well, if there's no audience, but yeah, exactly. You really don't know with comedy, but with drama you can do different. You can do emotional stuff, and emotion is what I'm having a lot of fun with and enjoying that a lot because when you're a stand-up comedian, it's such a lonely job, and there's zero emotion attached to it.
No, but I've seen your comedy act, and you did it at the tavern. You had the whole audience just in stitches. It was really funny. A lot of jokes about your bass playing. But when we went on a trip together, Barry and I and you two, you were saying Laura, you actually review a lot of his material before he records.
Yeah, we write a lot of stuff together, and we bounce stuff off each other. So
And
we
she's also my manager, so
Yeah.
she gets 50% automatically.
But I mean, because I've gone to so many of Jim's shows, thousands and thousands of more shows than he's probably performed of Jim's I've been to, I kind of get to see things from an audience perspective as well. So I can kind of sit at the back of the room and know what the audience are going with, so then I can come back with feedback and kind of maybe have a different perspective on it than Jim has.
Well, now, have you ever had something you thought was going to be really funny, and then when they tried it out, it didn't get the reaction?
Yeah, it's horrible. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather try something dramatic, because then you don't know if it works or not until you've made the film, and then you just cut it anyway. But when you do comedy, you get up there and you've got a whole idea and you've been working on it for ages, and they don't go with it, they don't run with it, and you have to dump it. It's a horrible feeling.
Well, there's the other,
Or
there's the other thing.
worse still, you have to do it until the end, and you're stuck with it until the routine is finished.
Well, the other thing too is that sometimes you'll write something, and that wasn't supposed to be the funny part, and people are laughing at that. And you think, did I miss
I
it?
think after 25 years of being a performer doing comedy, you tend to know roughly where the laughs will be.
Yeah, okay.
And then you alter it each night. But I mean, you know, you'd be crazy to go out there with a 10-minute new piece.
Thank you very much.
He needs that already.
All right, we have the Bost family, the familiest family in country music today. 8 kids, 2 different acts right now. They're traveling different places, right? So we're going to hear Rancho Grande.
All right, let it go, boys. Okay, Jim, we play all over the place. And bluegrass has a very peculiar sound that originated in the Appalachian Mountains. But we're not from the Appalachians, we're from the border with Mexico. And when we turn on the radio, we don't get bluegrass on the radio. We're lucky to get English. So our bluegrass has a little bit of a southwestern flavor. It sounds like this.
Here we go.
Give me my ranch and my cattle, far from the great city's rattle. Give me a big herd to battle, for I just love herding cattle. Allá en el rancho grande, allá donde vivía. Había una rancherita que me decía,
Martin was right. You cannot be depressed listening to that music. I mean, it's like. I mean,
Very happy.
This thing doesn't know any sad songs.
We tried.
Hey folks, Jim and Laura went to get a glass of wine. We're here with the Bost family, and just amazing music. I mean, just really makes me feel happy. I mean, you cannot be depressed. Music worked that way for you too. I mean, when you're feeling down and you start to play. I mean,
It works for me that way. There's nothing will bring you together faster than playing music.
Definitely.
I over the years hiring bands here on the farm, I always got the impression that even if things weren't going right in a musician's life, if they could get together and play or whatever, I mean, it's like a narcotic or something.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure it's probably some kind of physiological thing, but I don't know what it is. I just know it works. It really works.
We're proud of Jeff. He led a very exotic life in a way. He's actually a West Point officer, trained at West Point. You actually were in Serbia and Croatia at one point, right?
Mm-hmm.
And also in Saudi Arabia.
Yep.
Right. But he left the army to lead his family on a bluegrass odyssey, kind of, right?
Become a hippie. There you go.
Yeah, that's why we moved to Bisbee.
They're from Bisbee, Arizona, which is a hippie town on the border, right?
That's right. Last of the hippie strongholds. Once in a while, they'll still have big demonstrations with signs that say "Impeach Nixon." Sort of like, yeah.
Those are the hippies with walkers, right? I mean,
Yeah, one of the guys there, one of the colorful characters, his name was Grandfather Woodstock.
How did bluegrass start for you?
Heard the banjo when I was a kid and just set me on fire. I just had to, it was more of an obsession than anything. Just I had to figure out how to do it and make that sound.
Music kind of has to be an obsession, right? I mean,
Yeah, well, people say all the time, oh, your children are so talented, and I'm always saying, really, musical talent is not really talent per se, it's just an obsession with practicing. That's what makes people really good at it, is they just do it a lot.
when we were looking for bands when we took over the packing shed running it, and we were having trouble finding consistent bands, and a friend of ours referred you, and when you first came out, you had Brooklyn all the way down to, I don't think William or John was.
John wasn't even born yet.
Yeah. But it was. I mean, your wife would play the bass with like a papoose on her back,
Yes, yeah,
and one of the babies in the back. It was just
Man.
amazing. You ever get a little weepy thinking about?
Yeah, it's like, the leaves are all gone and the season is gone, and all you can do is kind of just reflect on how wonderful it was, and it's a new season now.
I think it's one of God's most bittersweet gifts is time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
I
like
hear
it allows you to meet so many people and fall in love and make friends or whatever. But then
Intermission. We got corn. Anybody corn?
how much is it?
Oh, what do you think, Mr. Riley, for the corn?
Can you eat that off?
Oh, I don't know. They give me this colored stuff to sell, but I don't know if I can sell this, Mr. Riley.
And the family is half of you touring one place, half of you touring another.
Yeah, we have had two groups going for about the last year. We sort of, really when you get that many people together, it's not a band anymore. It's more like a choir.
Yeah.
And it worked well when the children were kind of small. We're sort of a madrigal with children. But these days we've got these awesome musicians, and we're sort of
Liberty and Faith
subdivided.
need to contribute here and have some babies, right? I mean,
We'll see.
Well,
we gotta find a man for him. I mean,
That would be a good thing.
well, I know Liberty signed Micah. Micah's 24 years old, two-time Arizona State mandolin champion. I mean, a dynamite musician, and all he does is practice.
He doesn't have
So he
time.
doesn't have any girlfriends or prospects. Liberty signed him
I
up
forgot
on
about Micah.
she signed him up on ChristianMingle.com, and he had girls from all over the world calling him on the phone because she made him look like the best guy on the planet.
Highlight
And he was
7
like,
feet tall.
"Who is this? Why are you calling me?" He found out about 3 months later.
There's
He
no
just-
better endorsement than your sister.
that's actually pretty good because most sisters don't do that for their brothers. I mean,
Well,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
he didn't quite see it that way.
The old joke when my sisters would have boyfriends come up and pick them up. My older brothers would look at the prospective, suitor And they stand there in the hallway waiting for my sister to come down the stairs. And they look at the guy's pants and they say, "Hey, did your mom make those pants for you?" Because the tradition is to totally humiliate, that the shooter can stand up to your family's sense of humor or whatever. But on behalf of the Riley family, I mean, we've all been through a lot, but we very much appreciate you guys. I mean, you've been great friends, and we love you guys, and we pray for you in all your trials, and you have a son who's got leukemia, right?
Yep, he had leukemia for about a year and a half.
Well, Jim has a son, Lewis, who's I think 18 or 19 years old now. 18 or 19 years old, 17 years old. He's a recovered leukemia, childhood leukemia.
Yeah, it's a tough road to hoe, but it's a road that you can get through.
Well, so we're going to have a whole week of Sleepy Hollows here on the farm, right?
Yep, sir.
And where are you going to tour this year? Where are you going?
Let's see here. We did a tour out to Louisiana and East Texas and Oklahoma in the spring. Summer, we did a little tour through New Mexico, then went up into western Colorado and Wyoming and Idaho and Oregon. Put us here. November, we're going to go back home. December back here, and that'll finish up the year.
Well, we're going to have Laura Tavaré help with your management and publicity.
So are you guys going to be here? When are you going to be at Riley's farm next?
Okay, well, we're here for Sleepy Hollow through October 31st.
Oh, wow, cool. All
then
right.
we come back and we pitch in with the Christmas Carol.
All right.
Which is always
so there's
really
lots
good
of
time.
Bost family ahead.
Oh,
That's
yes.
right.
Yeah.
You want to get the definitive bluegrass.
Riley, there's
from
some
Southern California.
hippies on the property. I gotta tell you, we got some hippies on the property. I deal with it?
Are they down at the tavern?
Yeah,
Go get them.
I'll do it.
We want to thank you for tuning in to Jim Riley at Riley's Farm live in the afternoon. It's getting late, the sun's about to go down, and I have to get to bed. I'm getting a little bit older. But we've got the Bost family to sing a great song. It's called I'll Fly Away, and you're going to get to see some of Drew Granier's beautiful aerial photography of the farm. I'll Fly Away.
Some black morning when this life is over, I'll fly away in the morning to a home on God's celestial shore. Oh, I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away in the morning when I die. Hallelujah, by and by. Oh, I'll fly away. Shackles on my feet. Oh, I'll fly away. Everybody now. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away in the morning when I die. Hallelujah, by and by. Oh, I'll fly away. Yes, I'll fly away.
This show was brought to you by Riley's Corn. Get your corn here, multicolored corn.
Not just any corn, Indian corn, or sometimes called First Peoples corn.